Good morning. I need your opinion on something. When I first moved here, I didn't really have a bathroom. Well, I did have a bathroom, but it wasn't a very good one. It's pretty decent now, but back in the day, it was really terrible. It had a bidet in it. If you know what a bidet is, it's like something I haven't used, but it had one of them. It also had a bath, but it didn't have a shower. It had like, you know those rubber things you put on bath taps, and then they come out into like a little shower head and you sit in the bath and turn the water on and the whole thing. I had one of those. It also didn't have any hot water. So one of the first things I needed to build for myself was a shower. And this is it. Now, it's become a bit overgrown of late because, well, I haven't used it much, if I'm honest. No need for it. But I do kind of want to get it set up for the summer again because, although it sounds ridiculous, having a shower outside after work when it's like 40 odd degrees here, which it will be this summer, is actually quite refreshing. What I have is, I bought one of those solar shower bags, and I used to fill it full of water in the morning, leave it out in the sun, and then in the evening add a bit of cold water, because if it's out in the sun all day it like gets near boiling. Found that out the hard way. Add a bit of cold water, then I'd hang it up on a pulley like that, hoist it up here. Lovely shower in the evenings, nice and secluded, no one looking in at me. So it has sort of fallen into disrepair of late, so I want to get it sorted at some point, so I can use it again this summer. But what I need your opinion on is what's next door to the shower. This thing. Now, I don't know what it is. It's never been used, but basically, I think it's an old potting shed or something. I don't know. It's either that or an abandoned TARDIS. I'm not too sure which, but I've never actually used it for anything. I mean, it could have been the old toilet, because there's a bit of a hole under it. In fact, yes, I'm pretty sure that was the old toilet. Thankfully, we don't need it anymore. So I'm thinking about making something of it. Not too sure what yet. If you have any ideas, let me know. I don't know, something. We'll figure something out. Let me know in the comments what I should put in there. Right, come on, we have to get changed and go out. Anyway, right, so what was I saying? Right, yeah, the kitchen. So the kitchen was like a blank slate. So I decided to go... Did I tell you guys the first bit of this story, or did I just start talking again without a camera on? I think I might have spent the last few minutes telling you a story without actually turning the camera on. I'd really like to say that's the first time I did that. So I completely forgot to record the first bit of what I was telling you, because I'm a klutz. Anyway, my house is really old. Really old. It's older than the chateau, but like a good bit. There's a website over in France that you can look at old maps on, and you put in where you live and it shows you a map of the 1700s. Really old maps. And I don't know the exact year, I'll double check, but like the house is hundreds of years old. And when I finished renovating it, I needed to put a kitchen into it. So I went to IKEA, because if you go to IKEA, you can sit down with someone and they'll design a kitchen around sort of what dimensions you have in the room and tell you, oh, here's your options, you can have all these drawers, or you can have this cooker or that hob or whatever. So I went in and I sat down with this very nice lady. She goes, what do you want? I said, well, I need drawers basically. So that's what big drawers and then little drawers, and then a few that have like drawers within drawers. And one of the things I wanted, I don't know why I wanted it, but anyway I got it, was a spice drawer. So you open a drawer and then two little drawers are within that big drawer, and they open out and they kind of hold loads of spices and herbs and things. I kind of went a bit mad on the whole drawer thing, if I'm honest. Anyway, I opened my spice drawer this morning for some mad reason, and it was a bit of a mess, and then I was kind of running out of stuff and needed more spices and herbs and things. So I've decided we're all going out for the morning to the city to buy some more herbs and spices in the big supermarket, because they've got a really good herbs and spices section. Also, they have a sushi place in the supermarket where they make sushi in front of you. And I don't know, kind of fancied some sushi for lunch. So that's why we're on the way into the city today, and that's why I was banging on earlier on without recording it. There's a car just reversing out in front of me. Cool. Just stop there in the middle of the main road. That's okay, that's fine. Right, a slight issue with the roof tent. Let me explain. So this is the PVC cover that covers the roof tent, and it's great. It keeps the water out. Unfortunately, I didn't velcro it up very well last time I was camping and last time I packed away the tent, and well, it was a few weeks and I was driving in the rain and water got in here and created a little bit of mold. Now, I only really noticed this mold issue, unfolded the tent the other night when I was camping, and by then it was too late to do anything about it. But I do want to be using this tent quite a lot this summer, or as much as I can. So I don't fancy the idea of A, sleeping in a roof tent that's a bit moldy, and B, the mold getting worse. So I don't think that's too good for your health. Thank you for all the helpful suggestions about the greenhouse and flipping the door over to the other side. It did actually say that in the instructions, but when I looked into it, and believe me, I looked into it, it's not actually possible to flip the door. It would be if the frame on both sides were the same, but they're not. They're very specific. The door has to go on that side, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, if I'm honest. So I think I'm stuck with it like that. But a couple of people also pointed out it might be no harm to have two doors in that greenhouse to get like a through flow of air, because it is in quite a sunny spot and I don't want it to overheat, if that makes sense. Or I like the option of being able to vent it as much as possible. So I'm going to stick a door on that side. And to be honest with you, even if I flip the door to the side I wanted it on, it's still sort of against the wall. And just sort of looking at it, I'd rather have the door out from the wall in sort of this corner of the greenhouse. So I have a few ideas for that. I was going to do it today, but after I get this sorted out, I have to go and borrow a car and then have to make my way west to the Charente to see me old mate Joe. Actually, in order to explain to you guys why I have to borrow a car and hitch up a trailer and head over to the Charente to see my old mate Joe, I need to introduce you to someone first. Everybody, say hello to Archie. Now, Archie is my lawnmower, and I've had Archie for, I'm going to say, 15 years. I got him for 250 quid years and years and years ago, and he has served me well. He's served me very well. Archie has been through a couple of iterations over his lifetime, and he's been sort of pulled apart and put back together again more times than a jigsaw. He's got no charging circuits left because they kind of broke, so we ripped all the charging circuits out, and now the battery is charged by a solar panel. Don't ask. New ignition, all sorts of bits and bobs. He's actually, don't tell him, he's actually two lawnmowers bolted together. Because after a few years, he was kind of, like, he wasn't in great nick when I got him. And then he was sort of getting on a bit and falling apart, so I managed to find another one that was knackered, and I took the good parts off that one and put it in Archie. So he doesn't know, but he's a bit of a Frankenmower, but he's a good boy, and he always starts me. Now, I haven't started Archie in, well, I haven't cut the grass this year, so that's 3 months at least, and probably last October, I'd say. So that's a good 5 months since Archie's been started. What's this? Archie, why aren't you starting for me? I know, look, I know it's pressure. I know there's people watching. Why aren't you starting? Just messing with me now, Archie, come on. I know you have power. Let's forget about the whole starting Archie thing. Clearly his battery's flat. These things happen though. But the main thing about Archie is he sort of needs to be put out to pasture in a good way. He's got a little tow bar on the back of him, and he's quite handy for attaching a little trailer and towing around the place. But the extra weight of the cutting deck is kind of killing him, to be honest with you. So my plan is to just take his cutting deck off altogether and use him just as a little bit of a light duties tractor about the place. Now the reason I need to borrow a car to pull my trailer is my mate Joe has got a couple of lawnmowers over in his place that he says I could have. It's not that straightforward because it never is with Joe. So Joe, more specifically Joe's father, is a collector of things, shall we say. I think I've mentioned them in the past. If there's ever a part for a car I'm looking for, I always talk to Steve, because Steve, Joe's dad, either knows where I can find a part or has one. So I rang him the other week and I said, I don't suppose you got a mowing deck for an ancient old Honda lawnmower? And he said, no. But he said, what I do have is I have 2 other ride-on mowers that you can have. They're just gathering dust at my place. And I said, cheers, I don't really need 2, Steve. Why would you give me 2? And then he said, because one's in good nick, but doesn't have an engine, and the other's in really bad nick, but has a great engine. So if you want to take the 2 of them away, swap the engine, you'll have 1 good mower. Welcome to rural France. This is how we roll. So, I have to go over and get a couple of mowers off Joe later. I might stay over there for the night and, I don't know, have a catch up and a beer with him as well. What was I doing? Oh yeah, the tent. Right, tent, charge that, bugger off to the Charente. Pack an overnight bag, people. We'll be away for the night. Oh, how am I going to do this without busting myself? Be clever about it, Brian. Be clever about it. Right, as clever as we're going to get. Swank it in there so we don't scratch Pascal's immaculate paintwork. And we're just going to slide it down the ladder. Nice and easy, nice and slow, nice and safe. Okay, Pascal? Don't roll back. Oh. That worked. Now Pascal can go back in his own little shed because he hates sharing with Dolly, and we'll have a lot more space about the place because he doesn't fit in his own shed with the roof tent on. Right, well, I'm nearly at Joe's house and he hates being on camera. So I'm going to end the vlog there and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you next time. Now tell Joe you said hello to him.